The atmosphere inside the Tokyo Dome was already electric long before the lights dimmed, but nothing could have prepared the audience for what was about to unfold. Fans from across Japan and indeed from around the world filled every seat, their anticipation building into a palpable energy that seemed to vibrate through the massive venue. The ARIRANG Japan tour had already been making headlines, but on this particular night, something extraordinary was in the air. As the opening visuals flickered across the giant screens, a roar erupted from the crowd, a deafening wave of excitement that rolled from one end of the stadium to the other. Light sticks shimmered like a galaxy of stars, creating a breathtaking ocean of color. The moment the music began, the energy intensified, and the audience knew they were about to witness something unforgettable. Then, in a burst of light and sound, Jimin appeared. From the very first second, he commanded the stage with a presence that was both powerful and magnetic. His movements were precise yet fluid, each step seamlessly blending into the next as if the music itself was guiding him. The crowd responded instantly, their cheers rising to a fever pitch as they watched him take control of the performance. But it wasn't just the choreography that captured everyone's attention, it was his voice. As the first note left his lips, the entire stadium seemed to hold its breath. His vocals rang out with a clarity and emotion that cut through the vast space, reaching every corner of the Tokyo Dome. There was a raw intensity in his delivery, a sense that every lyric carried a deeper meaning, something personal and profound. Fans could be seen clutching their light sticks tightly, some already moved to tears as they listened. It was more than just a performance. It was an experience, a moment where music and emotion intertwined in a way that felt almost surreal. As the song built toward its chorus, Jimin's energy soared even higher. His voice climbed effortlessly, hitting notes that seemed almost impossible, yet delivered with absolute control. The crowd erupted once again, their voices joining his in a powerful chorus that echoed throughout the venue. Cameras captured every angle, every expression, every breathtaking moment. On the giant screens, close-ups revealed the intensity in his eyes, the passion etched into every movement. It was clear that he wasn't just performing, he was fully immersed in the moment, giving everything he had to the audience. Midway through the performance, the music shifted, transitioning into a more dynamic and high-energy sequence. The beat dropped, and Jimin launched into a dance break that left fans stunned. His movements became sharper, faster, more explosive, showcasing a level of skill and control that few could match. The choreography was intricate, demanding both precision and stamina, yet he executed it flawlessly. Each spin, each jump, each perfectly timed gesture drew gasps from the crowd. It was the kind of performance that demanded attention, impossible to look away from even for a second. And then came the moment that would define the night. As the music reached its peak, Jimin sprinted across the stage, launching into a breathtaking leap that seemed to defy gravity itself. For a brief moment, time appeared to stand still. Suspended in the air, illuminated by a cascade of lights, he became the focal point of the entire arena. The crowd erupted in a thunderous roar, the sound so intense it felt as if the stadium itself was shaking. Fans screamed, cheered, and cried out in disbelief, unable to contain their excitement. It was a moment of pure spectacle, one that would undoubtedly be replayed and talked about for years to come. When he landed, seamlessly transitioning back into the choreography, the energy didn't drop for even a second. If anything, it intensified. The audience fed off his momentum, their enthusiasm fueling the performance even further. As the song drew to a close, Jimin delivered one final, powerful vocal run, his voice soaring above the music with a brilliance that left the entire stadium in awe. The final note lingered in the air, hanging there for just a moment before fading into silence. And then the explosion of applause. The Tokyo Dome erupted into cheers, applause, and chants that seemed to go on endlessly. Fans waved their light sticks, their faces glowing with excitement and emotion. Some were still processing what they had just witnessed, while others were already shouting his name, desperate for more. Jimin stood at the center of the stage, breathing heavily but smiling, clearly moved by the overwhelming response. He took a moment to look around, to take in the sea of fans who had come to see him, who had shared this incredible moment with him. It was a connection that went beyond words, a shared experience that transcended language, culture, and distance. As the concert continued, the energy remained high, but that particular performance stood out as something truly special. It wasn't just about the music or the choreography, it was about the emotion, the passion, the undeniable connection between artist and audience. Social media quickly lit up with reactions. Clips of the performance spread like wildfire, with fans and viewers alike expressing their amazement. Comments poured in, praising not only the technical brilliance of the performance but also the emotional impact it had left on everyone who watched it. Many described it as one of the most unforgettable moments of the tour, a highlight that captured everything that makes live performances so powerful. Others spoke about how deeply they were moved, how the performance resonated with them on a personal level. Experts and critics also weighed in, noting the level of artistry and dedication displayed on stage. They highlighted Jimin's ability to combine technical skill with genuine emotion, creating a performance that was both impressive and deeply meaningful. Behind the scenes, the preparation for such a moment was immense. Hours of rehearsal, attention to detail, and a relentless pursuit of perfection all contributed to what the audience ultimately experienced. It was a testament to the hard work and commitment that goes into creating something truly extraordinary. For Jimin, however, it seemed to come naturally. His ability to connect with the audience to convey emotion through both movement and voice set him apart as a performer. It was this unique combination of talent and authenticity that made the performance so impactful. As the night came to an end and fans began to leave the Tokyo Dome, the excitement didn't fade. Conversations buzzed with excitement, with everyone eager to share their favorite moments, to relive the experience in any way they could. Some replayed videos on their phones, others discussed the performance with friends, their voices still filled with awe. It was clear that what had happened inside that stadium was more than just a concert. It was a moment that would stay with them long after the lights had gone out. Even days later, the impact continued to be felt. Media outlets reported on the performance, highlighting it as a standout moment of the tour. Fans continued to share their reactions, keeping the excitement alive across platforms. In the end, it wasn't just about one night or one performance. It was about the power of music to bring people together, to create moments that resonate far beyond the stage. It was about the connection between an artist and their audience, a bond that transforms a simple performance into something unforgettable. And on that night at the Tokyo Dome, Jimin delivered exactly that, a performance that not only met expectations but exceeded them in every possible way, leaving an indelible mark on everyone who had the privilege of witnessing it. The echoes of that night refused to fade. Even as the final lights dimmed and the stage crew quietly began dismantling the elaborate setup, the energy from the performance seemed to linger in every corner of the Tokyo Dome. It was as if the building itself had absorbed the emotion of the moment, holding on to it just a little longer before letting it go. Outside, thousands of fans slowly made their way through the exits, but no one seemed in a hurry to leave. Conversations overlapped in a constant hum of excitement, voices rising and falling as people tried to process what they had just witnessed. Some laughed in disbelief, others spoke with trembling voices, still overwhelmed by the intensity of it all. For many, the highlight remained that breathtaking leap, the moment when time appeared to stop. It had become more than just a part of the performance, it was now a symbol of the night itself. Fans replayed it over and over on their phones, each viewing bringing back the same surge of adrenaline, the same sense of awe. But beyond the spectacle, there was something deeper that continued to resonate. Those who had been in the audience spoke not only about the visuals or the choreography but about the feeling. A feeling that was difficult to put into words, yet unmistakably powerful. It was the sense of being part of something larger, of sharing a moment that transcended the ordinary. Backstage, the atmosphere told a different story, one of quiet intensity giving way to reflection. The adrenaline of the performance was beginning to settle, replaced by a calm that often follows moments of extreme focus. Staff members exchanged glances and smiles, aware that they had just been part of something special. Jimin, too, was said to have taken a moment to himself after leaving the stage. For an artist who gives so much during each performance, those quiet moments afterward can be just as important. They are a time to breathe, to reflect, and to absorb the energy that had been shared with thousands of people just moments before. It is in these unseen moments that the full weight of a performance often becomes clear, because what the audience experiences in a few minutes on stage is the result of countless hours of preparation, discipline, and dedication. Every movement, every note, every expression is carefully crafted, yet delivered in a way that feels spontaneous and real. That balance between precision and emotion is what defines a truly great performer. And on that night, it was evident in every second. As clips from the performance continued to spread online, the reaction only grew stronger. Viewers who hadn't been present at the Tokyo Dome found themselves just as captivated, drawn in by the sheer intensity of what they were seeing. Comments flooded in from around the world, many expressing disbelief that a performance of such scale could feel so personal. Some described watching the video multiple times, each viewing revealing new details, a subtle expression, a perfectly timed movement, a vocal nuance that hadn't been noticed before. It became clear that this was not just a performance to be watched once, but one to be revisited, studied, and appreciated again and again. Music critics began to take note as well, highlighting the performance as a defining moment in the tour. They pointed out the technical excellence, the stage presence, and the emotional depth that had combined to create something truly remarkable. Yet, for all the analysis and praise, there was a shared understanding that the essence of the moment went beyond what could be measured or explained. It was about connection. A connection between artist and audience that felt immediate and genuine. A connection that turned a massive stadium into a space that felt somehow intimate. A connection that lingered long after the final note had been sung. In the days that followed, the impact of the performance continued to ripple outward. Fans created compilations, edits, and tributes, each one a reflection of how deeply the moment had resonated with them. The performance became a topic of discussion across communities, bringing people together through a shared appreciation of what they had experienced. For some, it served as inspiration. Stories began to emerge of individuals who felt motivated, moved, or even changed by what they had seen. Whether it was the dedication behind the performance, the emotion conveyed through the music, or simply the reminder of what passion can achieve, the effect was undeniable. This is the power of a truly unforgettable performance. It doesn't end when the music stops. It continues to live on in the minds of those who witnessed it. shaping their memories, influencing their perspectives, and reminding them of what is possible when artistry and emotion come together in perfect harmony. And as the ARIRANG Japan tour moved forward to its next destination, the memory of that night at the Tokyo Dome remained a defining moment, a benchmark against which all other performances would be measured. Because in that vast arena, under those brilliant lights, something rare had taken place, something that could not be replicated, something that could only be felt. And for those who were there, and even for those who would later watch from afar, it became more than just a performance. It became a moment that would never be forgotten. In the weeks that followed, the performance began to take on a life of its own. What started as a single night at the Tokyo Dome quickly evolved into a global phenomenon. The full video continued to circulate across platforms, drawing in millions of viewers who were eager to witness the moment everyone was talking about. With each passing day, the audience grew, extending far beyond those who had been physically present in the stadium. And yet, despite being viewed through screens of all sizes, the impact remained remarkably intact. There was something about the way the performance had been captured, the angles, the sound, the raw, unfiltered reactions of the crowd, that allowed viewers to feel as though they were right there in the audience. The roar of the fans, the pulse of the music, the intensity of the stage lights, all of it translated with surprising clarity. For many, watching the video became an emotional experience in itself. Some viewers admitted they hadn't expected to be affected so deeply. They had clicked out of curiosity, drawn in by the growing buzz, only to find themselves completely immersed within moments. Others described feeling chills as the performance built, their anticipation mirroring that of the live audience. And when that now-iconic leap appeared on screen, the reaction was almost universal. Even without being physically present, viewers could sense the magnitude of the moment. The way the crowd's energy surged, the way the music swelled, the way everything seemed to align perfectly, it created a sequence that felt cinematic, almost unreal in its execution. It was the kind of moment that defines an era. As discussions about the performance continued, attention also turned toward the artistry behind it. Industry professionals began analyzing the details, breaking down the elements that had contributed to its success. From stage design and lighting to choreography and vocal arrangement, every aspect was examined with a level of scrutiny reserved for truly exceptional work. One recurring observation stood out above the rest: the seamless integration of emotion and technique. It is one thing to execute choreography with precision or to deliver vocals with clarity, but to do both while maintaining an authentic emotional connection is far more rare. It requires not only skill but a deep understanding of how to communicate through performance. And in this case, that communication had been unmistakable. There was a sincerity in every movement, a purpose behind every note. Nothing felt forced or exaggerated. Instead, everything unfolded with a natural flow that made the entire performance feel effortless, even though it was anything but behind the scenes. However, the reality was far more demanding. Rehearsals had reportedly been intense, with countless hours spent refining even the smallest details. Adjustments were made repeatedly, ensuring that every transition, every cue, and every interaction aligned perfectly. It was a process that required patience, focus, and an unwavering commitment to excellence. But it is precisely this level of dedication that allows moments like these to happen. Because when preparation meets opportunity, something extraordinary can emerge. As the tour progressed, anticipation for each subsequent performance grew significantly. Fans attending future shows carried with them the memory of Tokyo Dome, wondering if they might witness something equally remarkable, or perhaps even more so. The expectations were high, but so was the excitement. At each new venue, the atmosphere seemed to build upon what had come before. The energy of the crowd, the scale of the production, and the intensity of the performances all continued to evolve, creating a sense that the tour itself was a living, breathing experience. Yet no matter how impressive each new show became, the Tokyo Dome performance retained a special place in the narrative. It was the moment that had shifted everything. A turning point that elevated the tour from highly anticipated to truly unforgettable. For Jimin, the impact extended beyond the stage. Interviews and behind-the-scenes glimpses revealed an artist who remained grounded despite the overwhelming response. When asked about the performance, he spoke not in terms of spectacle but of connection, of the desire to share something meaningful with the audience. It was a perspective that resonated deeply with fans, because at its core, that is what they had felt. Not just admiration but connection, a sense that the performance was not simply being delivered to them but shared with them, that they were not just spectators but participants in something genuine and real. This mutual exchange of energy is what defines the most memorable live experiences. It transforms a performance into a dialogue, a moment of understanding that exists beyond words. And in this case, that dialogue had been heard loud and clear. As months passed, the legacy of the Tokyo Dome performance continued to grow. It was referenced in discussions about standout moments in live music, included in compilations of unforgettable performances, and cited as an example of what can be achieved when artistry is pushed to its limits. New fans discovered it for the first time, while longtime fans returned to it again and again, each viewing reinforcing its impact. It became more than just a video, it became a benchmark. A reminder of what is possible when everything aligns. When preparation, passion, and performance come together in perfect harmony. And perhaps most importantly, it became a source of inspiration. For aspiring performers, it demonstrated the power of dedication and authenticity. For fans, it served as a reminder of why they fell in love with music in the first place. And for everyone who experienced it in any form, it offered a glimpse of something truly special. Because in the end, moments like these are rare. They cannot be manufactured or replicated on demand. They happen when timing, talent, and emotion intersect in just the right way. And when they do, they leave a mark that lasts far beyond the stage, far beyond the lights, and far beyond the final note. A mark that continues to resonate long after the moment itself has passed.